Kumanina, hello. What's up, Banjo? Lady Bird, Wendy, Rising Sun, Ed. Sorry for the more downward angle. I had to change how the camera was set up, so I'm still working on perfecting the positioning. I just realized how much of a downward angle it is. Happy Tuesday or Thursday. You know, I found something that was actually kind of frustrating. You know, I was just sitting here, you know, frustrated about the whole situation with Mom and everything. And I was, sometimes I just let YouTube videos play. I just let it roll. I might pick a certain topic. Like, in this instance, I had happened across a new, one of those cops owned versus cops getting owned video compilations. So I said, what the hell? You know, I let it run. And of course, it was not well done. Hey, Miss Constitutional, Truth, John. But I'm letting it run, so of course it would play the next one and the next one. And all of a sudden it started getting the slightly older ones, like a month old, 2 month old, 3 month old. And they're showing News Now Houston and Southside Slacker and News Now Patrick. All these auditors that have accomplished great things, and they're showing them as getting owned by cops. I'm like, how is... I kept leaving comments in all of them, like, how is this getting owned? You know, how did they get owned? Especially the News Now Houston ones, he certainly didn't get owned. He was very cordial, polite, never gave up his ID, nothing. So how is that getting owned? Yeah, Eggman, I know, man. Nobody gets notifications anymore. But am I the only one that sees these videos and wonders about that? You know, why are our people getting put in these compilations when they have no place in them? So, it was just kind of, I was bothered by it. I'm like, you know, these people have accomplished great things. How's things over there in Scotland, Wendy? It's got to be, what, about 6 p.m. now? Going on 6 p.m.? How things over on the bird farm, Eggs? Well, it's not mainstream media, though. It's just other YouTubers, anywhere from 2,000 to 600,000 subscribers, making these compilation videos. And, you know, you'd think they'd know by now, after, you know, the 50th episode, that that's not getting owned. It's just clickbait. That's what pisses me off about it, is it clickbait. You know, nothing frustrates me more than clickbait. They're either by way of thumbnail, or by way of title, or both. You know, it's so annoying when people do the clickbaiting. Really? It's only going on 5 o'clock, Wendy? I thought you were 5 hours ahead of me. Mom is, well, she's Mom. I mean, if you picture, like, this is her right foot, you know, to say this is her pinky toe, and this is her thumb toe, you know, the big toe. They took off these toes, and this whole section of the side of the foot, they cut it on an angle, so they cut it here, took these bones and stuff out, took the toes, and now they're waiting to see if all these toes, all these bones in here are infected. If they are, then the whole foot has to come off. Hey Tex Rose, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to catch your live stream earlier. I got really caught up in just housework and spending time with the animals and stuff because they're all stressed out with Mom gone because they're her animals. So I have to make sure I don't show logos on cans anymore. But I mean, you know, I've got a couple of videos I've been sitting on. I'm still trying to find information on them. They're pretty much similar to what I posted the other day. People getting roughed up, you know, encounters with cops that weren't so pleasant. And, you know, here's the thing, guys. I have actively been seeking out good cop videos. I wanted to put together a compilation of really good cop videos. Now, normally I don't use videos that have already been used in other compilations. I don't like to do that. I like my videos to be unique. But, you know, I don't know if it's just because people don't post them or what. But it is so hard to find new cop videos that haven't been used 50 times. Hey, Woody. Boomer. Yeah, I know that drill. Social Security, welfare, all them buildings are always packed. But, you know, I spent hours and hours. You know, in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep. Trying to figure, okay, what's my next video going to be? So I was going to try to put together a good cop compilation, you know, because the reality is there is good cops out there. Whether you agree with me or not, that's fine. I know there's good cops out there. But I had the damnedest time finding even remotely enough videos to put together a good compilation video. You know, especially ones that aren't copyrighted. Like, you know, I would read the details of the videos, and a lot of them are copyrighted, so I can't use them. You know, if I were to use them under fair use, the clips would be so short, you know, it wouldn't be worth it. Hey, Bama. Tammy. I hope I answered your questions at least a little bit that you sent me. Tammy is very, very full of questions, people. She's very new to the movement, and she's very interested in it, and she's very interested in learning. So, feel free to offer advice to her. Give her your email address if you want. You know, I've been trying to answer her questions as best I can. What's up, America? Welcome. But yeah, so, you know, I'm amazed at all these different videos that are floating around. And what kills me the most is those, the people getting owned videos, you know, owned by cops, and they were using, like, News Now Houston and Southside Slacker and them. They have 200, 300, 400,000 views, 1 million views, 1.6 million views. Hey, Biana. And I'm like, how are these people getting away with this? Because they're horrible videos. I'm sorry, but they are. There's no getting owned. There's no entertainment value to it. It's not even like it would be for the people that like to watch us getting arrested. Because there was no arrests happening either. Unless you count the same damn Sovereign videos over and over again. Which have been beat to death, you know, used a million times over. But, you know, yeah, see, that's the problem, Lindsay. They release them and it becomes copyrighted. So, I can't touch those. But, I don't understand how these people are getting 1.6 million views on a 10-minute long video that has virtually no entertainment value. And it really bothers me when they're putting our people down, you know? Our people are just doing activism. They don't deserve to be put in these compilations in a poor attempt to make them look bad. I remember seeing one with News Now Patrick. He was outside, I believe it was Dallas, in the county jail. If I'm not, I could be wrong, but I think it was Dallas. And they had him listed as a sovereign citizen. So I replied in the comment section, and I'm like, you know, not for nothing, but at minute such and such in the video, I know this guy. He's not sovereign. He's just a First Amendment activist. He stands up for his rights and stands up for our rights. You know, and I got hammered in replies. People trying to say that just because he didn't want an ID to the cops, that made him sovereign. Really? I hope these people that make these videos, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get hammered with some kind of strike, but the most popular compilation videos out there, I hope you guys are watching this at some point, because these people are not sovereign, and they certainly aren't getting owned in these clips. Yeah, I know, Lindsay. That's our tax dollars at work there, you know. Police lip-syncing videos galore. I've seen them. I mean, it's one thing if you're off duty, but these guys are full uniform, out in the street with patrol cars. You know, do it in your own time. Don't do it on tax dollar time. I don't care if you want to make a video and have fun. Go for it. But don't waste tax dollars in the process. Well, I'll have to check out what you're talking about, Tex Rose. If you want to email me the link, or I keep forgetting to text you, so you have my number. But if you want to just email me the link to it, I'll look at what you're talking about. Guineas? Are you talking about guinea fowl or guinea pigs? Well, you're Eggman, so I'm guessing guinea fowl. But, I mean, if any of you guys have videos that you want me to look at or work on or whatever, please feel free to email me. A lot of my videos come from my subscribers. You know, more often than not, I only post less than 1% of the videos that are submitted to me. That's because I don't report fake news, and I try to do the best research I can on it. And unless the video speaks for itself, you know, there's like that video of the kid getting pinned by the cop. That video spoke for itself. The video of the inmate getting beat up by deputies, that spoke for itself. But well, that's great, Tex Rose. I'm all for good cop videos. I wish I had footage of the good cops that have arrested me. Even if it was of me getting arrested, they were still good cops. I would still show it. There's one state trooper investigator, I'm not going to name names, but he was really good, really nice, very cordial guy. I was hoping to do an interview with him, or you know, some type of video with him, a ride along or something. And I can't get past the secretaries at the clerical staff at the New York State Troopers. I can't even get a hold of him to ask him if he's interested in this at all. Because I want my subscribers and just random viewers to know my channel is not just about let's bash cops or show footage of cops doing wrong. Hey, Bev. You know, my channel's... I'll show good cop videos just as much as I will bad cops. You know, to me, if you're a good cop, then you deserve recognition. I'm all for it. I have absolutely no qualms about showing that. Yeah, see, now in the 80s is where I encountered, the late 80s into the early 90s is when I encountered bad cops the most. Just where I grew up, and it was in the time frame when gangster rap blew up, and, you know, gang violence really exploded. The cops were literally like you saw in the movies. Like you saw in, well, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get strikes, but in the gangster, you know, the inner city gang movies, where you saw cops that would profile you just because of the way you walked, the way you talked, the way you dressed, you know, pinning you against cars, pinning you against walls, all that. Hey, Mick, AT Dog, that was really what it was like. For anybody that lived in the inner city, like the inner ghetto areas of Rochester in the 80s and 90s, they'll know what I'm talking about. Those cops literally acted like you saw in the gang movies. I don't know if they used the movies as a template or what, but they would literally treat us that way just because of the way we dressed or the way we talked or whatever, or blasting rap music. You know, we'd have our big boombox. You remember the old 80s and 90s boomboxes? We'd be out there sitting out, you know, banging rap music, just having fun. They would come and rough us up for no reason. Alright, Tammy, have a safe trip. But, you know, it was really like that. And I wish I had footage of those days. Because that's why I was so, you know, until I got enlightened in this movement, I just accepted it as the norm. I just accepted it as that is what it is. You know, cops were going to act the way they acted no matter what. I couldn't do anything about it. Like I said, there are good cops out there, you know, so don't quote me as saying all cops are evil, because it's not true. But I wish I had footage of back when me and my brother and all the other kids in our neighborhood, like I said, there was a lot of Hispanics, you know, a lot of African American families. There was even a lot of Vietnamese families. If you know Rochester, you'll know up and down State Street in Rochester, it leads right into downtown. It's mostly Vietnamese. That whole strip is like Vietnam, America, Vietnam. You know, you got Little Italy, Little China. Well, this is like Little Vietnam. So where I lived was like you had Vietnamese, and then you had Hispanics, and then you had a lot of African American families, and then there was me with my mom and my brother, and one other white family. That was it. We were the only white families in the whole immediate area. And the only reason we lived there was because we were, you know, really poor, and it was really cheap to live there. So, you know, but I got to know and love the cultures, all the different cultures. We had an Ethiopian family living right next door to us, and when they used to make Ethiopian coffee the traditional way, the whole neighborhood smelled like it. And it was so strong, but as I got older, they let me taste it, and it was so good. Gotta protect Miss Kitty, I'm guessing. And the moment Marshall Dillon was portrayed as a good cop. Yeah, Marshall Dillon was not only a good cop, he was a huge cop. A lot of people don't know he played the original creature of the Black Lagoon. Just because he was such a big man, like 6'7", 6'8", whatever. Big dude. Mick. Now, I won't say any certain percentage is good or bad. All I can go by is my personal experiences and what I've learned from the people who I trust. I trust their judgment, you know, and even News Now Houston will tell you, oh, Black Label will tell you, there are good cops out there. You cannot say they're all evil. So, yeah, Mark Miller, they are. You know, they are definitely hard workers. they've got that moral, you know, that it's instilled in them to just bust their butt supporting their families. I would love to visit Ethiopia someday. The temples they got there are amazing. If you guys have never looked it up, do a search for the Christian temples in Ethiopia. Oh my God, they're like carved from the very mountains and the very cliffs, and they're beautiful. And you know, supposedly the Ark of the Covenant is hidden in one of them. But at any rate, you know, so I was exposed to a lot of different cultures growing up, and you know, ironically, the least I had exposure to was white cultures. Unless we went back down to Long Island, where I was originally from, I didn't have a lot of exposure to white families and white cultures. You know, so it just made it interesting growing up. When my wife and I were still together, and we got the house we were living in, we had this neighbor, this lady Stacy. She was like 2 years older than me, and she was, so at the time she was I'm gonna say 33, 34. She had just moved to the city less than a year prior, and for the first time in her life met somebody that wasn't white. Her whole life she had lived up in the Adirondack Mountain area and had never been exposed to anything but white people. So it was like, you know, culture shock to her to come to the inner city. Yeah, truth. There you go. But yeah, I mean, I would love, if you guys got videos you want me to check out, whether it's good cop, bad cop, or whatever, you know, an audit you did or whatever, let me know. You know, if it's a real big issue thing, you know, I might even pass it on to Black Label and let him know about it, so it could get even more exposure. So, you know, whatever works. The idea is, I get asked all the time, why do I post these videos? Why do I post these videos of cops doing this and doing that? And the whole point is exposure. You know, getting people to learn. Not just the good, but they need to learn the bad too. My own daughter, I don't know if she's still in the channel now or not. I want her exposed to the reality, to the truth. Good and bad. She has to know. She had no idea what the First Amendment was, what the Second Amendment was, what the Fourth Amendment was. None of that. Until recently. And that's not her fault. That's the school's fault. They were not teaching her. And it really ticked me off when I found that out. I had no clue that my children weren't getting taught any of that. Sunlight is, yes, it is a great disinfectant if you know how to use it right. I can't wait for Tammy C to come back. I miss his live streams. It was like, you know, 2-3 times a day, every day, sitting in Tammy's live stream. Why not? That is unreal. What's unreal? What did I miss? Yeah, see, cops don't do like they used to do. They don't give people warnings as much as they used to. Or even try to help people out the way they used to. Hey Mike, what's up? You know, the older days, cops were more, they were more open to helping people. Be it getting food or shelter or whatever. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Mick. Yeah, you know, the sad thing is all my children go to charter schools, and they weren't being taught it. It's just like they don't teach the kids who really discovered America. They don't teach the kids that there was presidents before Washington. They don't, there's so much they don't teach our children. No, Miss C, I haven't read that yet. I'll have to look that up. I still gotta read the book that OKC sent me. And a couple that Rika has recommended. I'm behind on everything. With all the stuff going on in my life, with my mom. I mean, it's so hard right now. Well, that's just it. The schools, they should have to teach our children fact. Period. It doesn't matter if it, they need to admit they were wrong. That's what science is all about. Learning new things. Learning all that is new. Until recently, everybody thought Columbus discovered America. There was theories and speculation, but now it's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, absolute fact. The Vikings discovered the American continents way, 1,000 years before Columbus did. So, those things need to be taught to our children. See, many people who suffer from the tyrannical justice system, even when they are not guilty, like seeing others experience the same instead of standing up against it. You're right, Trota Ben. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm just going to call you Ben. You're right, though. People that have experienced tyranny still get a kick out of watching other people experience it instead of wanting to see it get better. How about all those people that have been roughed up by cops, but they still love to watch videos of people getting roughed up by cops? I got your email, Tex Rose. Samantha, that's good. That's awesome. You teach your kids the truth. That's exactly how it should be. It's harder for me to teach my kids just because, my living situation, but I try to. And I hope that they learn on their own as well. Well, thank you, David, for subscribing. That is what I was saying. Cops used to give warnings. They didn't try to ruin your life because you did something stupid. If you didn't hurt someone, they would give you a warning and call your parents, etc. You're right, Mark. Absolutely right. I don't know how many times when I was a teenager and that I got warnings, or I got brought home to my mom and then just got, punished at home. But it did happen. Well, the truth, the Indians didn't discover America so much as they're the indigenous of America. If you're going by foreign, as in modern society, modern man coming and discovering the continent, the American continent, that would be the Vikings. Yes, the Native Americans were here first, long before the Vikings, all that, but they were here since pre-modern man. They actually evolved on the North American continent and moved to the South American. I'm just referring to modern man. Shipbuilding, book writing, God-fearing modern man. It was the Vikings that discovered America first. Alright, Tex, Rose. But yeah, cops used to give warnings. They used to write a warning instead of a ticket. Or like, say your brake light was out. They would let you come back to the back of the car and look at the brake light being out and maybe wiggle the wires. Or if you got a spare bulb, let you change it real quick. Now, forget it. You get a $50, $60, $75 ticket, and then you got to fix it, and then track down a cop, and then get the cop to sign off on it. Otherwise, you got to go fight it in court. It's just ridiculous. It's all about money now. You know, it's like OKC vet HPA, aka Kenneth Grant. He what the, oh jeez, I lost my train of thought now. Well, he's been dealing a lot with his children, which, by the way, he did set up a GoFundMe account for his children's lawyers' fees. I don't know if you've seen that on his channel or not, but he was, oh yeah, he was telling me about this one traffic light in Mustang, Oklahoma, where they're writing $25,000 a month in tickets at this one intersection. And, you know, Mustang is like a small city in the state of Oklahoma. But $25,000 a month in tickets from one intersection. What in the hell is that? You know, even the courts should be like, wow, this is a little excessive. Something's going on here. You know, they shouldn't be allowing it. Yeah, I heard something about Leon Valley too. I don't know if it's been verified or not. I know Kenneth has verified it in Mustang, Oklahoma. But yeah, it's just it's amazing that the courts even let it go. You would think that a judge in Mustang, Oklahoma, if they were a true, honest judge, honestly cared about the law, were not corrupt at all, which it does happen, guys. There really are judges out there that are not corrupt. But you would think that they would see, you know, a pile of tickets every month from that intersection in Mustang and say to themselves, something's not right here. Either there's something wrong with the lights, or there's something wrong with the cops. Because there's no way in hell one intersection should generate that much in tickets in a month, every month. You know, I'd like to think there's at least one not corrupt judge in Mustang, Oklahoma. I know there's some great judges here in Rochester, New York, but there's also horrible ones. If you guys search for drunk judge Rochester, New York, you'll see this one lady judge. She got busted so many times for DWI and kept getting busted. And they kept letting her go. It got to the point where she was in court actually crying for them to put her in jail. She kept saying, I have a problem. I'm an alcoholic. Just put me in jail. Let me do my time. The judge said, no, your punishment is we're letting you go. That's literally what the judge said. We're going to let you go. So they put a ankle monitor on her, let her go. She walked out the door in front of deputies and immediately cut the ankle monitor off so that they would have to arrest her for violating the agreement. Well, guess what? All they did was take her in the back and put another one on. They didn't even arrest her for that. I mean, come on now. When it gets to that level, oh my God, that's corrupt. I mean, when the lady is begging to be put in jail because she's an alcoholic, has 5 or 6 DWIs, she even got busted. They put one of those breathalyzers on the ignition in her car. She got busted admitting it, that her friend blew into the breathalyzer for her, so that it would unlock and would let her drive. She even admitted it, and they still let her go. That's like, what? Okay, that's too far. How do they cover up for that? It's just crazy. Well, there you go, Wendy. I would love to have 1% of that money. Hell, 0.5%. I won't be greedy. Bama, I believe it. This lady was getting drunk too. She admitted drinking at work. I mean, but the sad thing is, like I said, she actually begged to go to jail. She wanted to do her time. You know, I mean, why? I don't understand why they didn't let her. Let her go to jail. Let her do AA and all that while she's in jail. You know, that's what I don't understand. Why they push so hard for her to not be in jail. She even told them she didn't care if she was in general population or in isolation. It didn't matter. If they put her in protective custody because she was a judge, all she cared about was she wanted to go to jail. She wanted a chance to get clean, and she knew the only way she was going to get clean was if she was forced to. Like it was legally forced away from her, taken out of her hands. And they still wouldn't do it. A lot of the public jumped on it. It was all over the news. Every freaking news station covered it. They all were like, what in the hell? Why is this lady getting away with this? And yet, she kept getting away with it. I'm not sure how the case ended, but I didn't really dig too deep into it. I got tired of hearing about it because it was an everyday thing. But I believe she did finally end up in jail. But it took, I don't know, half a dozen convictions and fighting with judges and crying and cutting her ankle tracker off. All that. That's what it took for her to go to jail. Now me, if I walk out this door right now with a beer in my hand, I would go to jail for a year if I did that right now. I mean, come on. How the hell is that fair? Hey, EKA, what's up, man? Yeah, they think they are. That's exactly it. They think they are. Now, I watched one of the videos I watched earlier actually had a cop. No, it wasn't. There was a female judge, not even a male. But there was a cop in there. I wish I could remember which one it was now. I watched so many of them. Hey, Dragonfly. But it actually had a cop in there. The guy was saying, I plead the fifth. I'm not going to incriminate myself. I plead the fifth. I'm not going to incriminate. The cop kept telling him, you have to talk. You have to tell me that. Your amendments don't apply in a traffic stop. The Constitution is overruled by local ordinance. I could not believe my ears when I was hearing this. And I wish I had wrote down which one it was. Because I'm like, this cop flat out believed that the Constitution could be overridden by local ordinances. I'm like, oh my God, how absurd is that? Who the hell trained this guy? Oh, really, Trodeben? Oh, like I said, I'm just going to call you Ben. That's crazy. I'll have to look that up. Upper Sandusky Police Department. Oh, I know, Mark. You're right. I mean... Oh. Hey, Amanda. She's not good. I mean, there's no signs of additional infection yet. They just did a test on her. They because she's had a bypass before, well, like a triple bypass. It's called the reverse Y. So instead of going up and into the shoulders, it went down into her groin, and they did that bypass. So they were concerned about bacteria building up in the bypass where it was attached. And they put a tube down her throat so that they can, like, ultrasound the heart from inside, and apparently so far they haven't found any signs of infection in the heart or in the bypass. In the heart, because it's an artificial valve now, so that's good. They didn't find anything there, but the foot is still not good. I'm still fighting, trying to figure out how I'm going to build a ramp for her. I've called everywhere, I've talked to everyone, every charity thing you could think of. And it's all waiting lists. There's a lot of people that need help. So, that's where that's at. We all got to keep our eyes out next week when Chi-Town Zoo goes to court. Hopefully they don't try to railroad her. I'm sorry, Bayou. Yeah, my mom's is primarily because of diabetes. She burned her foot with a heating pad about 6-7 months ago now. And it was healing all the way up until a week ago Friday, when she went into the hospital with a really bad infection. And her foot just got worse and worse. It's like it was falling apart. Oh, that's crazy, Bama. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, see, that, I mean, I appreciate the thought, Miss Constitutional. I don't care if it's an aluminum ramp or if I got to build a wood ramp. I don't care. She just needs a ramp. It's going to have to be about 14 feet long so that it's, you know, the right grade for her. So, they're desperately trying to save as much of the foot as they can so that she won't be, you know, have to get a prosthetic. Yeah, see, I worry about... I've been trying to quit smoking for so damn long. Oh, yeah, she's got neuropathy. We both do. I've got neuropathy real bad, too. My neuropathy was caused by my spine surgery. So, both of us are on Lyrica. Massive doses of Lyrica. Yeah, there you go. Tex Rose is going to be posting some new videos soon. So you guys check it out. If you're not subscribed to her, be sure to do so. She's very active in her community. Mrs. Constitutional just got some new hardware too. New camera, new mounts. So hopefully she'll be bringing us some new content soon as well. Thank you, Dragonfly. Do I dare ask, Eggs? I've had to deal with coyotes here before. We get them urbanized coyotes. Well, see, Zephyr, we were both on gabapentin for a long time. We were on the maximum dose allowed by law, which is 3,600 milligrams a day. And it stopped working. So we both got switched to Lyrica. And now we're both on 600 milligrams a day. 2 300 milligram tabs a day. And it works far better. Emily, Pink Camera Magic had her bond revoked. So now she is under house arrest until trial is complete. Zephyr, yeah, I'm on Suboxone. It doesn't help for my neuropathy at all. It helps a little with my spine pain, but that's it. My mom's on actual pain medicine for now, but eventually her pain clinic will be taking that away like mine did. Amanda, Chi-Town Sue was hit with another charge. Apparently she did go down to Texas. I thought she didn't. But apparently she did go down to Texas. They hit her with another charge because she left the state while out on bond. So she's gonna have to go to court for that now. So she mentioned yesterday that they may very well either stick her in jail or give her house arrest too. I have not heard from Monkey this morning. I know about Monkey. I watched the videos, which is just, that's the second time he's been jumped in the last month or two. Yeah, Mark, you're right. It is. They took. I was in a pain clinic. I was getting pain medicine from a pain clinic, and they changed their policy. They don't write pain medicine anymore. So they sent me to a Suboxone clinic. They said, "Look, we know you've been on pain medicine for 14 years, but we can't give you any more. So you have to go to a chemical dependency clinic instead." It's just ridiculous. Yeah, see that, like I said, that's the second time Monkey's been jumped in the recent time. That's just horrible. And the sad, he doesn't have any backup over there. That's the downfall. I wish more of the activists would come forward. Yeah, tramadol is the weakest pain medicine there is. They just made it a controlled substance last year. I have not, actually. I've been wondering about One-Eyed Fox and Eyes Wide Open. I was also worried about News Now Canuck, but he was on last night. Apparently he's been in a car accident recently, so that's why he wasn't on for over a week. You're right, Zephyr. It is. Yeah, Ed, you're right, too. Bear spray. Well, yeah, Wendy, tramadol is still an opiate. It's just the weakest opiate there is. I was on every pain medicine you could think of. From tramadol to fentanyl. Kratom didn't do shit. For me, or my mom, or anybody I know. Didn't do a damn thing. But that's why they sent me to the Suboxone clinic, was because I had been on opiates for 14 years. I'm supposed to be on them for the rest of my life. But the media ruined it for everyone. The media made up some opioid epidemic with pain medicine that didn't exist. There's always been a heroin problem. Always. It's been there since they outlawed heroin in the 20s and 30s. It used to be you could buy heroin over the counter. And then they outlawed it, and ever since then, there's been a problem with heroin. But there was no opioid epidemic with pain medicine. That didn't hit until the media did that. Doctors got scared, stopped writing pain medicine for their patients, so the patients went, what's the cheapest alternative? Heroin. So, it cascaded. And it's all because of the media. Mark Miller, yeah, well, but yeah, that's not legal, though. Tramadol is a controlled substance. It is under the same laws as Vicodin and oxycodone, all those now. They all are Schedule 2 or Schedule 3 narcotics now. Yeah, but that had nothing to do with pain medicine. The opioid epidemic didn't start until the media created it. There was no pain clinic or pain medicine epidemic at all. And this is from somebody who's been on pain medicine for 14 years. There was no epidemic until the media created it. So I'm like 7 or 8 heart medicines. I'm on the Lyrica. I gotta take all kinds of stuff every day. But it's still rough. I gotta go see the cardiologist first thing tomorrow morning. Yeah, good idea, Flo. What's up, Fox Valley? But I have to go see my cardiologist tomorrow morning because I've been feeling like I walk from one end of my house to the other and I feel like I got an elephant sitting on me. Like I got no stamina at all. And that happened right before my heart attacks. I kept feeling that feeling. So I'm pretty sure I've got some clogged arteries they're going to have to go in and open up. But I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, getting stents sucks. JH, I know a lot of people that take marijuana in deference to opioid pain medicines, and they say, oh, it works great. So, I mean, they have legalized the oil, the THC oil, as a medicine in New York State. I know America, but it's hard as hell to quit. Yeah, well, bio, yes, there's always going to be bad people in everything, no matter what. There's always going to be bad people. Yes, there was doctors that went overboard and were too friendly with their prescriptions. I mean, that's just the way it is. But those few doctors did not ruin it for the whole country. The media did. Yeah, well, Flo, I wish they would. I've been asking my cardiologist to do a bypass. I've got 5 stents in the artery that's called the Widowmaker. It's the left anterior descending artery on my heart. It's on the outside of the left side of my heart. That's where all of my heart attacks were, the same spot. So I've got 5 stents in the same spot. I want them to just go in, put in a bypass. When I'll be in the hospital long enough that I'll be over the nicotine withdrawal and all that by the time I come out. And, you know, they'll replace it with a much larger diameter artery. So I'll never have to worry about it get clogged again in my entire life. But they don't want it. They like doing stents because they get 25, 30 grand for placing a stent. It takes them 5 minutes to put a stent in. It takes hours and hours to do a bypass. And they get less. They get less money to do a bypass than they do to get a stent. Hey, Tom. But that's just ridiculous, you know? It should not be that way. Hey, Joe Nut, what's up? Just crazy, man. Even though they legalized, like I said, they legalized the marijuana oil, the THC oil, as a medication in New York State. But it's so hard to get in and see one of the doctors that are licensed to prescribe it. I mean, it's like 6-month long waiting lists. Yeah, you're right, Mark Miller. I mean, ultimately, it should be down to us. Even just sitting here talking to you guys, I feel heavy, and I feel like I have no energy. And, you know, I start to feel worse and worse. By an hour or two, I feel like I'm dying, and I have to lay down. That's why I'm going first thing tomorrow morning to see my cardiologist. It's also why, like, I keep my nitro right here. There is. That's exactly why, Joe H. or JH. That's the only reason that the problem exists to begin with. Well, partially, you know, it's because so many people got kicked out of pain clinics, and B, When here you can actually attribute the fentanyl problem to cops, because in the New England area, Boston, all that area, when that one guy, I don't remember his name, which makes me feel bad, but the one guy got killed in police custody. I believe that was in Boston. I could be wrong, but either way, it was in the New England. There was the riots. You had the big riots because this guy got killed in police custody. During those riots, pharmacies got raided, and people just snatched everything they could grab, including fentanyl. And they also raided animal hospitals where they use fentanyl as a tranquilizer. So like for a horse or a cow or whatever, they use a large dose of fentanyl as a mystery, as a tranquilizer. So these people took this fentanyl, and then they started cutting the heroin with it because it saves them on heroin. You know, the fentanyl was cheap. It was free. So they started cutting the heroin with it, and it took them a while to figure out the right mixture without killing everybody. But now that's why there's so much fentanyl-laced heroin out there. Then they started using decafentanyl, which is an elephant tranquilizer. It's like one granule of decafentanyl is enough to kill like 10 adults. So, it's crazy what they're doing now. That's why people should know. I'm not one to judge. If anybody does drugs, that's their choice. But if you do opiates, most places now, you can go to a chemical dependency clinic or a hospital, and you can get a Narcan kit. You take a 45-minute course, and you get a Narcan kit. So if you start to OD, you just slam that Narcan and inhale it on your nose, or some go under your tongue, and boom, it'll bring you back. So if anybody here does that, please go get a Narcan kit. Oh yeah, Mark Miller, it is. The decafentanyl, you can die from touching it. You can overdose from touching it. Some of them wear like 3 layers of gloves because it's so bad. Hey, Upstate. But, there was dealers that never used opiates that were dying because they were cutting their fentanyl or their heroin with fentanyl, and they would do it barehanded. And they were mixing it and mixing it and mixing it, and they would get it in their hands, and it would absorb through their hands. And it would kill them. I just say, get the Narcan kit. It's just that even if you're ODing, don't ever do your drugs alone. Always have somebody with you and alternate in taking your drugs. This way, one of you guys are somewhat lucid while the other one's out of it. That way, if you need Narcan, you get it. Fentanyl, yeah, I was on fentanyl patches too. It didn't do shit for me. Yeah, the heroin's bad here too, in Rochester, New York. It started getting bad in about 04, 05. That's when it really picked up pace. Unfortunately, I haven't always obeyed the law, and I was in that scene a lot. I saw firsthand how much was coming through. Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, I know Upstate. Troy, the whole Albany area, yeah. It is definitely getting really bad. But that's because they don't help them. It's so hard to get in and see a Suboxone doctor. It's just, Suboxone is a miracle drug. I don't care what anybody says. I'm here to tell you, it's a miracle drug. They need to make that shit over the counter. Damn, I meant to not curse. That stuff. They need to make it available over the counter. Yeah, I was on 12 of the 30 milligram pure oxys and 90 milligrams of methadone a day for pain. And then the doctor decided they weren't going to write pain medicine anymore. And I got sent to a chemical dependency clinic. Just like that. Boom. I went from doing fine at a clinic, no problems, to having chemical dependency on my medical records because they wouldn't write me pain medicine anymore. Yeah, they need to make Suboxone more available. I've known some people that have sat 16 weeks on a Suboxone waiting list. Yeah, crocodile is nasty. That's just bad stuff. That's mostly because of the gas. No, Suboxone doesn't work for me as a painkiller, even though it's got a powerful opioid in it. It doesn't work for me so much as a painkiller, just because of my levels of pain and because of what I was on prior to it. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, Suboxone wasn't meant to be a pain medicine. Yeah, I mean, see, my mom still goes to a pain clinic that writes pain medicine. She still gets pain medicine, but they cut hers in half for no reason. They just cut it in half. You know, this is a woman whose foot is falling off. She's in insane pain 24/7, and they cut her dosage in half. Yeah, well, see, with me, I mean, you know, I never thought I would have experienced anything worse than a toothache. Which, if you've ever had a really bad toothache, you know that stuff hurts. But I never thought I would experience anything worse than a toothache until I had kidney stones. And kidney stones are horrible, horrible pain. And I never thought I would experience anything worse than a kidney stone until I had my first heart attack. And then by my 5th heart attack, that was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, bar none. That was one of the really bad heart attacks. It was the lights blaring, rushing me to the hospital, rushing me to the table, and then my heart stopped on the table. That's how bad it was. Had to shock me back to life. That's why I wanted them to do a stent, bypass instead of a stent, so I never have to go through that again. I get it, Ben. Gun rights are important to a lot of people. Mister, yeah, so you get it. I mean, heart attacks are horrible. Horrible pain. But it's your heart dying. That's why, I mean, my left arm turned purple on my heart attack. My last one. My whole left arm turned purple. And now I have permanent damage in my left arm and in my heart from it. Because once it dies, it dies. It doesn't come back. And the pain you're feeling is part of your heart dying. And then, you know, or part of your arm dying. That's exactly what it is. Which is why I have these nitros here. This shit, dang it. This stuff is a miracle worker. See it, Tex, Rose? I mean, this, you put one of these under your tongue, and what it does is it opens up the artery. It causes them all to expand. The downfall is it causes your blood pressure to bottom out. All your blood drains. All from your brain and all that, which it gives you the worst migraine you can imagine. But it is a lifesaver. So that's why I don't go anywhere without this little bottle. And I actually filled it with extras because it only comes with 20 tabs. So I got refill after refill every month and just kept filling this bottle up, so I have enough in here to last quite a while. Yeah, the headaches are horrible from it, but it is a lifesaver. You know, they say it's kidney stones are worse than it too. Pancreatitis, I know many people that have had it. Doesn't compare to kidney stones, and kidney stones don't compare to a heart attack. And this is coming from a person that's had a 14mm kidney stone. You know, yeah. Biggest kidney stone I ever passed was 7.5mm, which is, you know, that's about that big. I mean, that's big. There's 25.4mm in an inch, to give you an idea. So it was just under 1/3 of an inch in diameter that I passed. That's not pretty. Ben, yeah, I'm overweight, but that's because I can't do anything anymore. Now what's killing me is just life. I mean, the stress and the anxiety of it all. Like, I have not been up to see my mom in almost a week because I can't afford the cab to go there and back. And I have nobody that'll take me. So it's been almost a week since I've seen my mom at the hospital. And I have to somehow build her a ramp, which I still haven't figured out how I'm going to do that. So it's just the stress of life and all that. Somebody must have just went live because my channel count just bottomed out. A couple people. I think Jen T is on her 5th live stream so far. It denies all pain medicines, period, JH. They don't write. They do not write narcotics at all anymore. Every patient there that was receiving Mystery, no, I know. But everybody in that clinic that was receiving narcotic pain medicine was all sent to a chemical dependency clinic at once. I mean, like, we overwhelmed the clinic because we all showed up within a day or two of each other because they wouldn't write pain medicines anymore. That's what I think is stupid. It's like, even if you're dying of cancer, like, you know you're dying, you know you've got 2 months to live at best, they still try to regulate how much painkillers you get. I'm like, really? If I'm dying, I'm not going out in pain. Sorry, but I'm not. I will take whatever I can to get rid of it. Yeah, the smoking is kicking my ass too. I tried vaping and that was kicking my ass more. My cardiologist told me flat out, you're gonna die, go back to cigarettes. Hydrocodone, Vicodin, yeah, I mean, it's just, You know, the oxycodone helped my nerve pain, but the Lyrica helps it more. But the Oxy helped my back. I had a spine surgery. I broke my back in '04, and I had to wait until '07 to have the surgery. I had an L5-S1 fusion, and it made me way worse. Way, way, way worse. That's why I was on the pain medicines for so long. But, you know, it was just, I was doing fine. Going to the pain clinic, I was fine. Living a relatively normal life. All of a sudden, I went in one day for my refill, and the doctor said, well, we're sorry, and he handed me the printed out policy change. And it dictated no more controlled substances. They don't even write Lyrica anymore. I get Lyrica from my PCP's office. Well, I just said, Ben. I mean, gabapentin is usually what they try you on first. It's also called Neurontin. It's a nerve medicine, and it does work, but I was on it for so long that I was on the highest dose legally allowed. And then it wasn't working anymore, so I switched to Lyrica, which does work. So... yeah, I mean, I've got to have so much work done. I'm going in for a colonoscopy. I know they're going to want to do another angiogram after I see the cardiologist tomorrow. They're going to want to go in and take a look at the arteries and see where the bottlenecks are. So, I know I'm going to have that done. There's something wrong in my stomach, which is why I'm having the colonoscopy. It's been over 6 months now. I mean, in excruciating pain. Horrible, spiking pain. Not the worst I've ever felt, but it comes close. And, well, great, it's raining. And so, I gotta that's what I'm going for. They've done all kinds of CAT scans and all that crap, and they still haven't figured out what's wrong. So, I barely eat now. That and the fact that my freaking mom, for some reason, locked up the benefit cards are in her safe before she went into the hospital. And I don't know the combination, and she won't give anybody the combination. So the food cards are stuck in her safe. Well, they call themselves a pain clinic because they still do other things. Like cortisone shots and physical therapy and all that other crap. Hey, Albert. It's kind of a slow day today, Albert. Which is weird, but it's just been a really slow day. I didn't know it was going to rain. It's actually raining pretty darn good. Damn, Joe. Yeah, I've known meth smokers. I never touched it, and I don't want to be around anybody that smokes it. Because people go psycho on that stuff. I mean, I absolutely lose their mind on it. And you get somebody that's been up 10, 11 days straight. They're absolutely delusional. I keep hoping that these people will contact me. I found their videos, and I want more information before I post them. People don't get back to me. I hate it. I'm not gonna post a video unless I know the facts. It's not worth the risk of, posting something that ends up not true. No, Joe, I did watch the replay. We were talking about that earlier. I watched the replay, and it's just ridiculous. It's the second time in like a month or two that he's been jumped. That's just... Monkey don't deserve that, man. Monkey's a great activist, a great guy. He did not deserve that at all. Interesting, Froggy. Yeah, I've got the full battery, man. High cholesterol, blood pressure, you name it. That's why I'm on so many medications. But the one that gets me the most, though, I've said it before, is my mirtazapine, which is an anxiety medicine. I literally wake up in the middle of the night sitting here smoking with no memory of lighting a cigarette. Burns all in the carpet, burns on my bed. I had to have them lower the dose because it got so bad. I was afraid I was going to burn the house down in my sleep. Yeah, Joe, don't ever try that stuff, man. A lot of people, it's an instant addiction. So... Well, kind of just dropped off, got slow, huh? Well, people got other things to do. No biggie. I wish I had more for you guys right now, but again, I'm not going to release a video until I know more about it. So, especially now, I've got to deal with a whole other set of rules and regulations, so... For now, I have to be careful about what I show. I have diverticulosis. That's one of the things they're going to be checking when they go and do the colonoscopy. They're going to check to see if the diverticulosis has gotten too bad. They're going to check for polyps and cancerous polyps and all that fun stuff. It's because the pain, where I'm having the pain, isn't quite, it's not right where the appendix is, or, something really easily diagnosed. So, that's why they wanted to do that. Do I need to talk to anyone from Ohio? What do you mean? Yeah, Froggy, I know it's bad. I mean, the worst thing to get off of is alcohol. Alcohol has the worst withdrawal of anything. Second to alcohol is methadone. I mean, you can die if you try to just quit cold turkey on alcohol or methadone. Meth is pretty bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as alcohol. And then you got the easy ones like cocaine or crack or whatever. Oh, man, I just got the chills. But they, like coke and crack, the withdrawal lasts an hour or two, and that's it. Well, Monkey, he's a Marine, so he's a strong dude. Oh, no, I mean, I don't have any videos coming out of Ohio right now. Yes, JH, I'm on like 3 blood thinners. Not just blood thinners, but anticoagulants. It's normal for people that have had heart attacks. The hell, where the... Man, it used to be such a pain in the ass because I got the two 24-inch widescreens, and then I've got the 15.7-inch laptop screen. I keep losing my mouse pointer. Yeah, really, JH, why don't you see that? You're absolutely right. There's been alcohol epidemics for the longest time. You certainly don't see the media playing that up. Yeah, well, opiates, it's, it's kind of like with, Oxy. It takes about 30 days to be over the worst of the total worst. I mean, the absolute worst lasts about 3 or 4 days. And then it slowly gets a little easier. But you can have PAWS, which is post-acute withdrawal symptoms, for up to a year after you stop. Oh, Mark, I'm sure it's exponential. See, I never got into drinking because my father was an alcoholic. My brother is still an alcoholic. And I knew other alcoholics. So I was like, no. I don't even want to tempt fate. So I never allowed myself to drink more than catching a little buzz. I've only been drunk, like shit-faced, drunk, like twice in my life. That's it. I've gotten plenty of buzzes, but I don't let myself drink beyond that. I can't believe Streamlabs still hasn't fixed the bug in the channel counter. I'm showing 16 people in here, but that says 26 still. Alright, Mark, thanks for stopping in, man. My youngest is 11, so my kids are self-sufficient, Well, plus they live with their mom right now, but... Well, I mean, we're coming up on an hour and a half here, and, it's pretty much died off in here. We're down to 13 people, so either somebody else went live or I'm just that boring. But either way, I appreciate y'all for stopping in. I might try again later when people are more alive and home from work and all that. Just depends on who else is live. So, If anybody knows anybody in the upstate New York area that can help with building a ramp, or got wood or whatever, I gotta figure this out. They were talking about her possibly coming home Monday, and that's assuming they don't find any more infection and everything's okay. She'll be on antibiotics at home for at least another 9 weeks, but I gotta put a ramp in. With them cutting off part of her foot and all that, yeah, coffee is my big addiction. I mean, this is my coffee cup. I drink several of these a day. That's my big addiction. That and menthol cigarettes. Normally would smoke Newports, but they're too damn expensive now, so smoke Indian brand, which just kills me faster. But again, like I said, if any of you guys know of anybody in the Rochester, New York area that can help with a ramp at all, please let me know. My email's on my About page, because at this point I'm down to trying to get it done by Monday morning, assuming she's coming home. Otherwise, I have no idea how I'm going to even get her in the house. So, but otherwise, I appreciate y'all stopping in, and keep an eye out later. I might do a stream later if nobody else is live. So, thanks for stopping in.